Hello, my dear students. I am Priyanka Koiri, your science teacher, and the chapter that we're discussing is natural resources. Okay. So, in the last class, what we have learned is that we discussed about resources on Earth, where we discussed what is natural resources. Then we discussed about the regions of Earth. There we discussed the various regions like the atmosphere, lithosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, right? And then we discuss in detail about what is atmosphere and the role of atmosphere in climate control. We also discuss how winds are formed, what is sea breeze and land breeze. Then we discuss about rain and air pollution also. And finally we discussed about water and what is the importance of water, why water is necessary for all living beings. And we also discussed about water pollution, that what is water pollution and what are the causes of water pollution. Okay. In today's class, we are going to discuss about soil. Okay. So, what is soil? Soil is an important resource that decides the diversity of life in an area. That means what type of life will be found in an area is determined by soil. The outermost layer of the earth is called crust, and the mineral found in this layer supply a variety of nutrients to the life forms. Okay, so the outermost layer of earth is called crust. Okay, and in this crust, minerals are found. Okay, and these minerals provide nutrients to all the living beings directly or indirectly, but these minerals will not be available to the living beings if they are being bound up in huge rocks. Okay, so the minerals that are present in the crust is usually bound up in huge rocks. Okay, clear? Over thousands of years, these rocks are broken down into fine particles that we call as soil. So slowly these rocks they slowly break down and the minerals are released. Okay, so when these rocks breaks down, they form fine particles, that is what we call as soil. Okay, clear? Now, formation of soil. How soil formation takes place. Okay, soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks on the surface of earth by physical, chemical and biological process. Okay, the sun heat ups the rock during the day and the rocks expand at night and the rocks cools down and contract. Okay, so during the day what happens is that the sun heat ups the rock and the rocks expand, because we know that on heating a substance it expands. Okay, and at night what happens is that the rocks cool down and it contracts. Okay, so this causes the rocks to crack and break into smaller pieces. So this expansion during the day and contraction during the night causes cracks in the rocks, which leads to the breakdown of rocks into smaller pieces. Water entered the cracks in the rocks, and when water freezes it expands and causes the cracks in the rocks to widen and break into smaller pieces. Okay, so when there is a rainfall, this water enters into all those cracks and they freezes. Okay, and because of the freezing these cracks expand more, and which leads to the breaking of rocks into smaller pieces. Okay, the flowing water carries the rock's pieces. These pieces rub against each other and become smaller and smaller particles. Okay, so the water that is flowing in the rivers also they carry small pieces of rocks, and these pieces of rocks rub against each other, and that leads to the formation of smaller and smaller particles of rocks. Strong winds also breaks rocks into smaller particles and carries it to from one place into another. Okay, so winds also sometimes they carry rock from one place to another, and during that time the rocks break down into smaller pieces. The roots of large trees grows into the cracks of rocks and breaks into smaller pieces. The roots of trees also they sometimes get into the cracks of the rocks and enlarges the cracks to break it into smaller pieces. Clear? Lichens, lichens which grow on rocks produces some substance which cause the rocks surface to powder and become soil. We have seen lichen that grow on soil, and this lichen they produce some certain substances that dissolves the rock into soil. Okay, so these are the ways, different ways by which formation of soil takes place. The first one is because of sun, the second one is because of water, the third one is because of wind, and the next is because of the biological elements like roots of the trees and lichens. So all this helps in the breakdown of rocks to become soil. Clear? Now, composition of soil. Okay, what are the things that are present in soil? So soil is a mixture of rock particles, decayed organic organisms called humus, whatever that is dead and it has decayed, that is called humus. So soil contains of rock particles, humus, then living organisms and insects are also there, minerals, okay, air and water. So all these are present in soil. Okay, the amount of minerals, humus, air, and water are the factors which decides biodiversity in that area. Okay, so what is the amount of minerals? If it is more, then the diversity in that area will be more. Okay, so this amount of minerals and humus and air and water in soil decides the biodiversity in that area. Okay, now coming to soil pollution. What is soil pollution? Okay, we must have seen scenarios like this. Okay, so this is your soil pollution. Okay, so let us define soil pollution. The addition of harmful substances which affects the fertility of soil and kills the diversity of organism living in it is called soil pollution. Okay, so when we add harmful substances in the soil, that leads the soil to lose its fertility and kills the organism that are present in the soil, then this situation is called soil pollution. Okay, soil pollution is caused by the excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides. So when we use excess amount of fertilizers and pesticides in our farms, it leads to soil pollution. It kills the earthworm and bacteria, which makes the soil rich in humus. Okay, so excess use of these chemicals kills the earthworm and bacteria that are present in the soil, and because of the killing, the nutrients are not replenished in the soil, and as a result, the soil loses its fertility that leads to soil pollution. The removal of useful compounds and addition of other harmful substances reduces the fertility and causes soil pollution. Okay, so when we remove the important substances from the soil like minerals and add harmful substances like chemicals into the soil, it leads to the reduction of fertility of the soil and cause pollution. Okay, okay. Next, you must have seen scenarios like this. Okay, this is your soil erosion. The carrying away of water from one place to the other by flowing water and wind is called soil erosion. Okay, so normally what happens is that the soil get washed away due to water and wind. Okay, so this carrying away of soil is called your soil erosion. Large scale deforestation also cause soil erosion. So deforestation can cause soil erosion. Soil erosion cover on the ground soil erosion cover on the ground, afforestation, construction of dam can be used to prevent or prevented by vegetative burns, terrace farming, etc. So soil erosion can be prevented. Okay, soil erosion can be prevented by afforestation or construction of bunds. All this can be done to prevent soil erosion. Soil erosion is not a good thing because the top layer of the soil is washed away, and this top layer only contains the minerals in it. So when the minerals are washed away, the soil loses its fertility. So soil erosion is quite harmful for all of us. Okay, so soil erosion can be reduced by afforestation, that is planting of trees, construction of dams, okay, construction of vegetative bunds, terrace farming, etc. can be used to control soil erosion. Okay, now coming to biogeochemical cycles. Biogeochemical cycles are the transfer of matter and energy between biotic and abiotic components of the biosphere. Okay, so the transfer of matter, okay, so matter could be anything, that is solid, liquid or gas. The transfer of matter and energy between biotic components and abiotic components of the biosphere is your biogeochemical cycles. The common chemical cycles are water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, and oxygen cycle. We are going to discuss all these cycles in detail. Okay. So at first, let's come to water cycle. When water bodies are heated during the day, a large amount of water evaporates and rises up. Okay. So during the day, because of sun, the water bodies are heated to form water vapor, and this water vapor goes up in the sky. Some water vapor also gets into the atmosphere due to biological activities like transpiration and respiration. Okay, so some water vapor is also added by plants and animals, like from with the help of transpiration and respiration. As the water vapor rises, it cools and condenses to form tiny droplets of water. This appears as cloud. Okay, so this water vapor that has risen up, it now cools down. Okay, in the sky and condenses to form small droplets of water that we see as clouds. When the tiny droplets of water join together to form bigger droplets of water, they fall down as rain, snow, or hail. Okay, so these tiny droplets of water, they slowly join with other droplets of water to form bigger droplets, and they come down to the surface of the earth in the form of rain, snow, or hail. Some of the water enters the ground and form groundwater. So this water that has come down to the surface, it some of the water, it goes down into the earth, into the ground, and becomes groundwater. When water flows from land to the sea, it carries many nutrients and minerals which are used by marine organisms. And most of the water, like the water that has come down from the sky into the ground, some of them will go inside the ground and some will flow. Okay, and they will flow and reach the sea. Okay, so while going, they carry nutrients and minerals along with them, and these nutrients and minerals are used by marine organism. Okay, so this is how water cycle looks like. At first there is evaporation, then there is condensation, then the falling down of rain, which is called precipitation, and this after this they are all collection, there is collection. So this is what water cycle looks like. Okay, now let us recall what we have studied. So we discussed about soil, what is soil and how soil formation takes place. Okay, formation of soil, what are the various factors that contribute in the formation of soil. Then we discussed about composition of soil, what are the components that are present in soil. Okay, then we discussed about what is soil pollution, and we discussed about soil erosion also, what is soil erosion and how it can be prevented. Then we discussed about biogeochemical cycles, and then under biogeochemical cycle we discussed about water cycle. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Thank you. I will see you in the next class.